Hi everyone, Neil from African Campsite Reviews. Today we're at Twee Rivieren. We've been spending the past 5 nights here. This is our last night and I'm doing a bit of an overview of the campsite for you. It's now just before 4 o'clock. Particular reason I'm doing this video at this time of day is purely because of the sun. Obviously this is the Kgalagadi. It gets blistering hot and you'd want to know where to put your tent or your caravan to avoid most of the heat. So we're starting with a bit of an overview of the entrance. This is the main entrance. Up there, if you go up there, that's the Botswana side. So there's the Botswana chalets and campsites. I believe, I haven't been there myself, but I believe it's pretty dilapidated. Most of the people who's camping there is moving to the South African side, saying the facilities are really not well taken care of. So yeah, but that's how it works. As you come in, you go to the Botswana side, or you come in and you go to the South African side. So just to give you a brief overview before we go into more detail, lay of the land is at the back, right up against the hill. You've got all the cottages, shop and filling station over there. Filling station is open 7 in the mornings to 7 in the evenings. Those times vary depending on season, so be mindful of that. But a really well equipped shop and a filling station, and yeah, all the basics you might need. As always, it's sand park, so it is quite expensive. If you can bring your own provisions, rather do that. Where that white bucky is coming out is the game viewing area. You go in there and then you enter the actual game viewing park. In terms of the camping sites, you have power sites over here, and then you go up a little road, and that over there is the non-power camping sites. The power camping sites is in the dip here. It is quite crowded. This is a famous park, if one can call it that. It's almost always full. The power sites is at the bottom here. There's quite a lot of sand, so it is sandy, it is dusty. Whilst camping here, we saw a whirlwind come through this campsite, and it was quite dusty. The non-power camping sites up there where we are camping, we find to be a lot more private, but not only that, it's a lot more level, and it is also a lot less sandy and as a result dusty. So personally, I prefer the non-power camping sites to the power camping sites. But considerations are you are quite far from the ablutions, which is there. If I can see my finger correctly now, I'm looking into the sun. But further down this video, I'll walk through both sites and give you an overview of that. So that's the overview of the entrance and the lay of the land, and we'll go into more detail going into the campsites now. Okay, so this is us going into the main camping area in Twee Rivieren. Up there is the filling station, the shop, the restaurant, closed because of COVID. By the way, the video is taken on the 15th or the 16th, I believe it might be. I'm on holiday, so I don't keep track, of October, and this is about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Going into the main camping site, that's the ablutions right there. Laundry facilities, ladies, gents, typical sand parks, restrooms, neat, tidy, nice hot warm water, and yeah, no issues there. In terms of orientation, campsite starts there, number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, goes down this way, goes around and all the way back, and then the non-camping site is at the back of this building. As per usual, this is the Kgalagadi. So water is scarce and taps are few and far in between. So if you are going to be camping with a camper and you don't want to be shuffling water back and forth, make sure to fill your water tanks at a tap if you do have that in a 4x4 camp or something like that, before you actually set up camp. In terms of orientation, the sun rises right over there and it sets around there, where you can see it just behind this building. Being the Kalahari, it gets super cold in the winter and super hot in the summer. I would recommend that if you are camping in summer, if you do have trees on your campsite, pitch your van or your tent to the east of any tree you might have, so that the afternoon sun that tree that you use would give you protection from the afternoon sun. On the flip side, if you're in the winter, you probably want the afternoon sun's heat, then you do it the other way around and you pitch your caravan or your tent on the western side of any shaded tree you might find. So I'm going to take you through a quick walk. Not going to be too invasive on people's privacy, so I won't go into too much detail, but just a quick walk through the site. So to the left here, from campsite 5 to a guesstimate of about campsite 20 is all west facing sites. As you can see now, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, these people are burning out in the heat, so not sites I would recommend for summer. The site in the middle here is lovely. You can see what I mean here. This guy his tent is in the shade in the afternoon, and that's what you want in summer. It gets up to 42 degrees here in summer and it's bloody hot. So if you can have some afternoon sun over your camper van or your tent, it is absolutely recommended. Campsite areas have lights all around. A lot of people has been sleeping with the lights on. I don't think they know that there are switches on every single light bulb. So if you want to use the campsite lights, you can switch them off, and the switch is right up against the pole. Okay, now we're getting to the non-power camping sites. So there's 2 sections. There's this section here, and there's that section up there where we are camping. This one here is absolutely amazing. We couldn't use it because it had people in it. I'm not too fond of these ones over here. If you look at this guy here, you are totally private. You have a massive tree. If you pitch your camper right there, you have a massive tree casting shade in the afternoon. And of all the campsites in and around Twee Rivieren, I think this is the best. This is non-power site number 6. So totally private, nobody up against you, and away from everyone. As I said earlier, considering that is the ablutions and you are a bit of a walk from the ablutions, but I prefer privacy over a bit of a walk. Going back towards the power site. Actually go through here. Try not to invade people's privacy too much. So this is the area which I mentioned is not as sandy. Hasn't got as much shade as site number 6. Right in front of you, this goes in the anti-clockwise direction. Underneath that tree, site number 1, 2, where my white bucky is 3, 4, 5. From these up here, I prefer number 4 where those people are camped with that white buggy there, and the reason I'll point out to you now. So campsite 1 is not bad. I just find it a bit small. Also a tree with afternoon shade. But if you do pitch up a van here, I think that would be very difficult to maneuver that into this space where there's afternoon shade. It's nice and private though, except for this lady looking down on you. Other than that, that's fine. Campsite 1, also not bad, but obviously you have all the traffic from all these 5 sites going down there towards the revolutions. So not private at all. Definitely not my first choice. The one we chose was this one here. Was the only one that was available. Excuse the mess, we're packing up, we're leaving tomorrow. A nice site for winter because the sun sets there. So afternoon this gets nice and hot, but in winter, so for winter it's perfect. But for summer we didn't enjoy the site that much. If you're sitting having your afternoon beer, it gets really hot because these trees, their shade falls on the other side. And us liking privacy, we wanted our entertainment space this side, so we were sitting in the blistering sun in the afternoon. Okay, campsite number 3 and campsite number 4, where you see that van there in the background, is probably the best sites. The reason I say that is 3 has these trees here throwing shade towards the braai area. Downside is your braai areas is right towards each other. Of course you have a choice to pitch your entertainment area this way, but then you'd have to move your van or your tents all the way into that quite crowded area over there to be under the shade. What's nice about campsite number 4 there is, as you can see, they are fully shaded. They have nothing on the other side, so they're totally private. They have morning sun coming from that side, and they are protected from the afternoon sun. So campsite number 4 up here, definitely my first choice. If you're going to be camping on the, call it the bottom end of the non-power campsites, campsite number 6, definitely first prize. I'm going to be doing a short video of the toilets and laundry facilities and all of that. Any questions you might have, as always, give me a shout. And as I mentioned, most important thing here is shade in the afternoon if you're camping in summer, and access to water points. There's only one water point at the back behind that bucky up here, only the one for all these 5 sites. At the bottom, I would estimate, I didn't exactly count, but there's probably one water tap for about every 5-6 sites. So if you've got an off-road camper, fill up your tanks and you don't have to commute back and forth to fill up or do dishes or anything like that. Yeah, as usual, like, subscribe. Any questions, please shout, comment, and stay in touch.